Emma Carter refused to leave Raven Creek after witnessing the glowing eyes. At sunrise, every footprint had mysteriously vanished except one leading toward the abandoned church. Inside, she found a century-old newspaper describing children disappearing after hearing a midnight flute. Before Emma could finish reading, fresh muddy footprints slowly appeared across the wooden floor, stopping only inches behind her trembling feet without anyone standing there at all. Daniel Brooks arrived carrying the church archives rescued years earlier before the basement collapsed. Hidden inside a damaged journal, they discovered every disappearance happened exactly every 25 years after someone played the cursed silver flute. Suddenly, the old church bell rang by itself. Emma looked outside and saw dozens of silent children standing motionless in the fog, their pale faces slowly turning toward the broken stained glass window together. Emma rushed outside, but the silent children disappeared before she reached them. Only one little girl remained, staring toward the forest without blinking. She whispered, "He isn't calling us anymore, he's waiting." Before anyone could question her, she smiled unnaturally, dropped an old silver button into Emma's hand, and vanished behind the swirling fog, leaving fresh footprints that suddenly ended in empty ground beneath silent trees. Professor Olivia examined the silver button and recognized an ancient family crest belonging to the town's forgotten founder. Hidden beneath the church map, she uncovered secret tunnels leading below Raven Creek. As the three entered the darkness, distant flute music echoed through the narrow passage. Their flashlights flickered together, revealing countless tiny handprints covering the damp stone walls before every light suddenly failed at once completely. Darkness swallowed the tunnel until Daniel managed to restart one flashlight. The beam revealed dozens of abandoned children's shoes arranged neatly along both sides of the passage. At the tunnel's end stood an ancient wooden door carved with the same mysterious symbol. As Emma touched the handle, soft flute music stopped instantly. Then slow breathing echoed from the opposite side without any visible movement whatsoever. The heavy door slowly opened, revealing a forgotten underground chamber untouched for generations. Hundreds of melted candles surrounded a cracked stone altar where the ancient silver flute rested alone. Suddenly, every candle burst into blue flames. A towering shadow silently formed behind the altar, while two glowing blue eyes opened inside complete darkness. The Midnight Piper had finally appeared, yet his face remained hidden beneath endless shadows forever. The Midnight Piper slowly lifted the silver flute without revealing his face. Instead of attacking, he pointed toward the cracked altar where dozens of children's names were carved into cold stone. Olivia realized every name belonged to children officially declared missing throughout the past century. Suddenly, one fresh name began carving itself before their eyes. It was Emma Carter, while unseen laughter echoed across the chamber endlessly. Emma stepped backward in disbelief as the final letter of her name appeared. Daniel grabbed the silver flute, hoping to destroy it, but an invisible force hurled him across the chamber. The flute began playing by itself. Thick black mist poured from the walls, surrounding every exit. Through the darkness, dozens of ghostly children silently emerged, each extending one trembling hand toward Emma without speaking a single word. Professor Olivia suddenly remembered an unfinished legend hidden inside the oldest church records. The Piper never stole innocent children willingly. Long ago, Raven Creek's founders betrayed him and sacrificed their own families for hidden gold beneath the town. Every disappearance since then had been revenge against the bloodlines responsible. Emma froze after discovering her family name listed among those original founders buried within forgotten history forever. The chamber shook violently as hidden walls collapsed around them. Beneath the broken altar lay countless gold coins stained with dried blood beside hundreds of tiny skeletons. Olivia realized the treasure had always been cursed. The Piper slowly lowered his flute and pointed toward Emma again, silently demanding repayment for the century-old betrayal. Then every ghostly child turned together, staring directly into Daniel's frightened eyes without blinking. Daniel refused to abandon Emma despite the impossible curse. He noticed the silver button perfectly matched a missing space carved into the flute itself. As Emma carefully inserted the button, the haunting melody stopped immediately. Every ghostly child smiled peacefully before fading into soft light. However, the Midnight Piper remained motionless. Slowly, he raised one trembling finger and pointed toward the tunnel behind Olivia instead. Olivia turned toward the tunnel and discovered another hidden chamber concealed behind the fallen stones. Inside rested the broken final piece of the silver flute, sealed within an ancient glass case. Before anyone reached it, the Midnight Piper silently appeared between them and the relic. His glowing blue eyes brightened, while the chamber filled with deafening flute music despite the instrument remaining completely motionless in his hands. Emma shattered the ancient glass with a heavy stone and seized the broken flute fragment. The moment both pieces touched, blinding blue light exploded across the chamber. The piper staggered backward for the first time. His shadowy body cracked like old porcelain, revealing countless trapped souls glowing beneath the darkness. Their desperate whispers begged Emma not to destroy the curse until every innocent child was finally released forever. Professor Olivia carefully joined the final fragment to the ancient flute, completing the forgotten instrument after centuries. Instead of playing music, the restored flute released a heartbreaking lullaby echoing through every tunnel. Ghostly children gathered around the piper without fear. One by one, they embraced him gently. His glowing eyes slowly dimmed as tears silently rolled across his cracked porcelain face beneath endless darkness forever. The underground chamber began collapsing as the ancient curse finally weakened. Daniel helped Emma and Olivia escape through the crumbling tunnels while the spirits disappeared into brilliant light above. Behind them, the Midnight Piper remained standing beside the shattered altar until his dark figure dissolved into drifting ash. Just before vanishing completely, he offered Emma a silent grateful nod that none of them would ever forget. Weeks later, Raven Creek returned to peaceful silence and no child disappeared again. Emma published the hidden truth, while the cursed treasure was buried forever beneath the ruined church. Yet every autumn, exactly at midnight, a faint flute melody still drifts through the empty streets before suddenly fading away. If you were trapped here, what would you do? Tell us below, like, and subscribe.